Hi guys. Tonight I'm going to answer some more questions that you've been asking about China.
More chicken feet. Death penalty here in China.
God of money. Is China still communist? Ooh, check my hair.
Not very well, actually.
Let's go and answer some questions about this weird ass country.
Does China have Netflix and or YouTube? Nope, you need a VPN for those. Elections. Do elections happen in China? Not at all. Not even intergovernmental elections, where they're selecting, like, I don't know how it works or worked, party leaders or whatever, this sort of thing, but even that doesn't happen now. What kind of alcohol do people drink here? Well, first off, they drink very weak beer, but then they also drink a very strong spirit or liquor called baijiu, which translates to white alcohol, which is basically, well, it's about the same strength plus of, like, you know, any sort of other spirit like vodka. It tastes like rakia, you get that in like Bulgaria and stuff, and it goes from about high 30s to 70 something percent, and it's very cheap as well, so you can really do yourself a number for very little.
You know, you could subscribe and like the video.
Alright, these shops are pretty cool. They're open like usually 24 hours. This one, actually, the staff members kind of just go home after about midnight, and you can just pay for stuff, you know, kind of like the Irish honor system. Only, I mean, it's still in business, so things aren't getting stolen, I guess, which is pretty cool. Do they have the death penalty here in China? They do, but only for like really bad crimes like murder and stuff. Drug trafficking as well for some reason goes on there, and economic crimes actual cases administered per year is 200 and something. So yeah, do not traffic drugs and do not commit huge tax fraud, and don't go murdering people, and you should be alright. Should. What kind of music do people here listen to? God awful music. If it's not some absolutely lame ass techno, it's love songs, and the rock music here is not rock. Got a visitor. The rock music, because, you know, the best type of music is obviously heavy metal, but it just doesn't really exist here. Like, the rock music sounds like pop. It's trash. It's trash. I think they've got some decent rap music allegedly. I just don't listen to that much rap. Is China a rich or a poor country? I'm not too sure about the grand scale of things, politics and all that sort of stuff, but there are a lot of poor people here. There's also quite a lot of rich people, very, very rich people. So it's quite a big gap between the rich and the poor. There are some middle class people, you know, fair enough. But yeah, just like most places around the world nowadays, the disparity is quite big.
Next question. Are Chinese people religious? Generally no. Maybe a little bit in the south, but generally no. But sometimes they do worship a god of money. Alright, next question. Are people here friendly to foreigners? Overall, yes. Though not everywhere. Most places. You should be alright. What makes Chinese people happy? Money and food. Money and food. Literally that. Is China still communist? Yes. In terms of the government having control. No, in terms of people just going about their daily lives. They can buy and spend and operate businesses. You could open a business and earn a whole bunch of money. It's very cowboy capitalist, but you still have to do what the government says. Okay, is China a good place to live? Like most other places in the world, if you have plenty of money, it can be, but there are still drawbacks, like everywhere else in the world. If you're poor, no, it's not really a good place to live. Same like most other places. Ooh, check my hair. Yeah, she cut my hair for us. It's pretty good, innit? Those police there were checking for drunk drivers. Where are the most expensive places to live? That would be places like Beijing, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Hangzhou, and Guangzhou. Places like this, big tier 1 cities. These places are usually the most expensive. Are houses in China expensive to buy? Absolutely. Extremely expensive. They can cost millions of RMB. Honestly, compared to the local salaries, these places are just, don't expect to own a home and not be in debt for your entire life. They're more expensive than the UK a lot of the time. Are there many homeless people in China? I'm not really too sure, but In my 3 or 4 years of being here, I've only seen about 3 or 4 homeless people in total. WhatsApp, is that banned? Yes, you need a VPN. What's the tax situation like? Well, compared to the UK, it's a dream, to be honest. As I'm sure you're aware, taxes in the UK are pretty high. In China, they don't seem to be very high at all. There's water on the other side of this. If I fall that way, then I'm getting wet. The security guard's coming now. Let's just go away now. Is healthcare free in China? No, it's not. You kind of need insurance. If you don't have insurance, however, the healthcare is still very cheap by, well, I guess by my standards. I'm really kind of just drawing on my comparison from living in the UK, of course, but I think compared to the majority of the Western world, it's some things are cheap and then some things aren't. But a lot of your basic stuff's pretty cheap. You know, like your medicines and stuff, some basic procedures. If you've got insurance, it's all right. The thing is, if you don't have insurance and you need a big procedure, or even if you do have insurance that doesn't cover a big procedure, some people will be left without life-saving surgery. Personally, I have used the medical system a few times. I found it to be rather affordable, but I don't live on a local salary. So, yeah. But then again, I've also never had, well, I've had medical insurance according to my employers, but never been so easy to use. This one is going to annoy some people. Why do Chinese people take photographs of foreigners? I'm not going to make up some BS excuse. Oh, it's because they're curious, blah, blah, blah. Nah, it's because they're ignorant and rude. I, as a paying customer, sometimes have been in establishments where people who worked there or even owned the joint, I don't know, have come and just taken videos of us. Like, I'm trying to enjoy a meal or I'm browsing in a shop and somebody working there has just come along and been like, oh, hey, look, foreigner, like, bro, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? And then other people will just be like, you know, oh, hello, foreigner, whap, whap, no problem, mosquitoes. And then there's the ones that hide it. So, you know, some people obviously are aware it is kind of inappropriate and they'll just take a picture, slide, but they'll have forgotten to turn the flash off. Or you'll hear the snap. Or you'll just see them just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so why do they take pictures? Well, because, quite frankly, they're rude and they will share it around their friends and stuff like that. That's basically what they're doing it for. You don't need to make excuses for that. Oh, because they're curious. I don't care, to be honest. Why do Chinese people have English names? They don't, generally. Let's do another one straight away. Does China still have the one-child policy? No. Actually, now they're encouraging people to have more kids because they're trying to replace an aging population and they need more workers. Is China a clean place? Well, you'll see in my videos, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Generally, the cities are pretty clean. It's just some places aren't. Some places are god-awful, but some places are pristine. Like the subway is just so clean. You could eat off the floor. Well, if you're brave. I hope the microphone didn't just pick up what my girlfriend said. I might have to bleep that one out. You can see all the street food in the background, which I'm trying to resist eating because I'm trying to be healthy, but I am really tempted to get some glass noodles. Oh. Anyways, question. Let's have a look. How do I visit China? All right, okay. China is opening up now. What you need to do is you need to get a tourist visa, and that's about it. They might ask for your itinerary, and you probably should get your itinerary sorted before you come here anyways. But some countries don't even need a visa. For the British people, yes, you need a tourist visa. We get that from the application centre, visa application centre. It costs about 100 odd quid, I think, and it takes less than a week. So you go get that, you get your tickets, you book your hotel, and you just come here. Other European countries, I think there's different rules, different countries, but it's not too bad. Yeah, it's really opened up now for tourism. In fact, I've even heard that there's a shopping visa where you can just get it really easily. Come here for like a few days, spend a bunch of money and go back. Some European countries like Spain and France don't actually need a visa. How much should you bring with you if you're visiting China? Well, you should bring about, for your hotel, you're going to want to spend about 20 quid a day, 30 quid if you want something really nice, but 20 quid will be more than adequate. For spendies, I would say, yeah, what do you want to do really? But if you're just exploring the city and stuff like that, I'd say, again, most cities except from Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, these places,
30 quid, 40 quid a day will get you pretty much all your food, your transport, some recreational activities. It's not really expensive in China to, you know, kind of, at least not by our standards, to go and just, you know, have some fun. Yeah, 30 or 40 quid a day. If you want to do crazy stuff, maybe. But I don't even know what would cost you that much in China. Like, it's not that expensive. Is there a tipping culture in China? No, don't feel obliged to tip anyone. Nah, not really. Is there a lot of pollution? Well, China's the size of a continent. Some areas it can be pretty bad, especially in the more industrialized areas. Some places it's pretty darn clean. I feel like the air here is pretty good. Not that you can see it because it's nighttime and it's air, but it looks clear enough. It's clear enough. It is. It's all right. Is there a lot of diversity in China? Nope. How does society view tattoos? All right, okay. Not very well, actually. Yeah, they're still somewhat a little bit taboo. Yeah, people with tattoos are kind of limited often to sort of menial work. It is slowly changing, very slowly. You know, in the younger generations, they're becoming better, but there is still a stereotype with tattoos here. I think the security guards are over there. Should probably stop, shouldn't I? One more time.
They don't really care.
Huh? Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.